Welcome back to part 2 of our conversation with Steve Sims, where he tells us the key to finding out what your clients really want and the 3 requirements to becoming a member of Bluefish. Stick around, part 2 is coming at you.
Welcome to this edition of Peak Performance Podcast with your host, Thor Conklin. Thor will be sharing the necessary tools, strategies, and psychology you'll need to become a peak performer in any area of your life or business.
Thor Conklin here. We give you the tricks, the tips, the tools, the strategy, the technology, and the psychology peak performers use in order to get more done and execute at the highest level. If you know what to do but struggle with getting it all done, or simply want to raise your game to the next level, this podcast is for you. Sit back and enjoy. So you said something earlier that I want to go back to, and that is, it's not always what your client is telling you that they really want, but there's something possibly below that or beneath that or behind that is what they really want. How do we find that out?
Yeah, I always ask why 3 times. Just get used to that. You get people that'll. The daft thing is, if I say to you now, and it will be embarrassing, but if I say, Thor, and I'm not asking you this, so you don't have to divulge it onto the podcast, but if I say to you, hey, how much money you got in your bank account? Now, you may not want to tell me that because obviously it's personal, but at the end of the day, it's a number that goes up and goes down, but it's a number. It's a fact, okay? If I ask you how tall you are, if I ask you what your religion is, what your marital status is, sometimes there will be a nerve that will be brushed in the questions, but the answers are always factual. As soon as you ask someone, what's your dream? If you could do anything, what is it? You're getting so personal into the core of that person that I notice a lot of the time you'll get pushback, you'll get, I don't have any dreams at the moment. I've lived my dream. You'll get that kind of bravado and you'll recognize that it's covering, or you'll get the, it may sound silly, You'll get that kind of talk. And then the guy that sang on stage with his favorite rock band, I put him on stage with the rock band Journey, and he sang on stage 4 tunes, and he's registered as the shortest term lead singer of the rock band Journey. Okay? When I first was introduced to him, my brief was that he wanted to meet them. That was it. I want to meet the band. And so I went, okay, great. Ignore that request and then go for the first why. Why do you want to do that? And then they tell you the little story and they go, oh, why is it important for you to do it now then? Why would you want to do this at this moment in your life? Why will this help you? Why will this give you potentially closure? Just ask why a lot. Like that little kid that asks for an ice cream before dinner. Why? Until in the end, the mum just goes, have the frickin' ice cream, Ask why, and then the shield kind of like breaks down, and eventually you start getting to it. And then at the end of it, I turned around and I said, hang on a minute. You've just given me a great story, and I'll quickly give it to you. The guy used to sleep on the couch and sing cover band of Journey. Fast forward 20-odd years later, 30 years, he's no longer sleeping on couches. He's a very successful man. He wanted to meet Journey to tell them how impactful that music had been to keep him going, even in his tough times. And he explained some of those tough times to me. And I went to him, hang on, you're telling me you're going to go through this entire life that this rock band's basically been with you and shaking their hand backstage at a concert? That's going to fulfill that prophecy? That's going to close that chapter? And of course the answer is, well, no. We need to take it from where it was and put it somewhere where there is the finale. And we literally took him, instead of meeting the band, he actually walked on stage in San Diego and sang 4 tunes with that band. Now that is taking it as far as you can. But you've got to get in. You've got to worm in. We're almost like psychologists when we're talking to our clients. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I want to do this. Oh, that's fantastic. Why do you want to do that? Why now? Why has this popped up in your head that this has to be done? How hungry are you for this? What's going to happen? Is this going to wake you up at 2 o'clock in the morning with you going, holy shit, I did that? Is it? And so you've got to drill into your clients to really get to what they want, not what they're saying.
Brilliant. We're always doing that as well as I'm working with clients, is really get them attached to the outcome. And what I love about your why, every time you're asking that, they're getting more in touch with what they really want, and they're starting to feel it and see it and grab it more. And I'm sure by the time you go, okay, well, we can make that happen, that's going to be $780,000. At that point, they're so committed, it's just like, where do I write the check?
Yeah, you want them invested in it.
Yeah. Brilliant. Now, I know that you've got your one business, and then as kind of a side business or attached to that is you're doing Taste of Blue. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I'm not sure it's a side business. I think that may be a bit disrespectful to it. And I'm not taking any disrespect from your statement, but Bluefish has been a 20-plus year high-end concierge firm that deals with 12 to 20 new clients a year. So what we decided to do was, with the following that we get on Bluefish of people watching, we wanted to give them a little bit of it. We wanted to give them a taste of what Bluefish does. So we opened up a iPhone application which allows you to speak to some people that we personally trained to do an entry level of what Bluefish is. So you're not going to go and meet the Pope in the Vatican, but we may be able to get you some real cool backstage access. You're not going to be able to do this, but you will be able to do that. So Taste of Blue is our mass market concierge in the palm of your hand, just to give you something a bit cooler to do this weekend, next month, for your holiday, for your concerts, for your travel, for your experiences.
Nice. And that starts at what? It's a membership site for $295 a year?
It is. It's $295 a year, and Bluefish is $5,000. So yeah, $295 is the membership for Taste of Blue.
So let's talk about some specifics here. As I said, I've got some very wealthy clients that I take care of. Where is kind of the entry level of the first experience? You know, if someone's coming to you and said, I've got $20,000 for my experiences for the year, is that a client or is it a six-figure start? What are you looking for?
I'm looking for the desire, and I'm looking for the commitment, and I'm looking for the ability. So we've had clients contact us and go, hey, I want to be a member. We've gone, okay, $5,000 is entry. This is just throwing skin in the game. You don't get an embossed card. You don't get a wallet. You get a host. You will get a dedicated, bespoke concierge that's going to build up a profile on you and then basically make your life smoother and potentially more interesting. So that's where we start. But let me ask you, if we do this, what are you going to be using them for? How are they going to be enhancing your life? What do you think we're going to... And you may get people in there going, oh, I've got a script and I need to make sure I have lunch with Angelina Jolie. We're not careerbuilder.com. So we will say, look, thank you very much. No. We have clients going, oh, I've got this product and I need to get this book, or I need to get this jacket on this rich person, or I need to be seen with this. No. We're here to give you great cocktail stories, but not to embarrass or get a leg up on someone else. You want to do this for your business? Hey, that's great. That's branding, that's toning, that's positioning, that's placement. And I have a consulting business, Steve D. Sims, that actually works for a lot of brands to position them, to get them into those kind of places. But Bluefish and Taste of Blue is all about personal enjoyment. So we're looking, first of all, at the reason behind it. Then we're looking at the commitment. So this is something you want to do. We're going to be doing this. How soon are you going to be looking at doing something? Well, we've got some travel next month. I'm a business consultant. I travel a lot. Okay, so there's going to be the need to potentially get a flexibility within your schedules. So we make sure that we've got the commitment. And then at the end of it, can you afford this? And we have some people, like all clubs, that they go, well, I can, but, I just want to get membership and just watch it. What's holding you back from actually actioning it? This isn't a club that you benefit from just by being a member of. It's a club you benefit from by taking action with. And you will get some people that creep in just to be a member. Yeah. And those are the ones that we go, we're not ready for you yet. It's not right. So let's wait. So it's really the desire, the commitment, and the ability that we focus on before we go forward and take them on as a member. And as you may see from our website, we have no phone number, no email. You can apply for membership, and then you get scheduled a membership call. And it's that call that will dictate whether or not you accepted or declined. And then the next step is for you to actually pay for membership. So we're very bespoke and old school in who we accept into our family.
Got it. Thank you for clarifying that. I'm sure one of the keys to your success is you've got to have people on your team that are used to dealing with an affluent customer that is used to getting things done in a certain way. How do you find great employees?
That is the tough one. I've heard people say before, hire slowly and fire quickly. You do go through a lot of people. It's very hard to find people that know about luxury that don't buy into the BS of it. So you get some people go, oh yes, don't you know this is the most expensive room in the world? Who cares? If it's in the wrong place for the client's, travel or experience, who cares how much it is? It's got to be in the right place at the right time and best fit for the client. So you've got to really go through those clients, especially the ones that kind of turn up at events and suddenly think that they are special or privileged, that they can wander around and hand you your tickets. The bottom line of it is, we plan, and with all my team, we plan everything as though we were going. And we therefore just provide it to you to actually enjoy. So we don't want you to feel any way talked down to. And that's why we try to keep it very blunt and bold. Every entrepreneur, and we've spoken about this before, entrepreneurs know what it's like to be late on an electric bill, know what it's like to have to get into the red letters before they pay that bill. They value the money. They value how they earn that money. The biggest thing is not the money, it's the value. If I sold you something for $1,000, if I sold you a can of Coke for $1,000, that's ridiculous. If I sold you access into something where you got to meet someone that you respect and admired for an hour, that's a bargain. So we have to look at the value that it is to you first, and that's the imperative part at all times.
Marketing is always key for any organization, and you know exactly who your customer is. What are your marketing strategies to find that clientele? Is it online? Is it at events? What seems to be the driver?
It's always referral based. I will tell you a funny story just to ruin all credibility that I have, if I still have any. We did a morning TV show in London back in 2000, 2001. And we had this newfangled thing called a website, which that was in the days of $30,000 that got you 4 pages. We're sitting down having a conversation with this talk show host. And she turns around to me and she goes, and you're so exclusive, you don't even have a phone number on your website. And I sat down and I went, yep, that's right. And I came off of the set and I was like, who the hell forgot to put a bloody phone number on our website? Now, the funny thing is, it bred this kind of how do we get hold of it? People had to jump through hoops to try and find us. And once you knew someone that knew us, we almost became like the Masons. People would go and people would contact us. Members would contact us and go, Steve, I don't want to bother you, but I got Jimmy. He's a good guy. He wants to talk to you about getting into the family. And we would handle it like that. We'd be like, if it's coming from you, make the introduction. And so we started that way. And then we grew that way. And we've changed the website. We've got a few more pages than 3 now. We still have no phone number on our website. But we get over 90, 95, 98. I don't know the last time we got a blind application. Now, we get a lot of media, and we promote that media that we get. So if Forbes write an article on us, if Entrepreneur writes an article, if we're on a TV show, we will put this out on our Instagram, our Facebooks, our Twitter, our social, our LinkedIn. We'll spread all that out there. And maybe you'll get someone go, oh, I saw that. How do I apply? We'll just send them an application link. But usually what happens is one of our clients will see that, and then they will share it with a few of their friends, and then you'll get the, Steve, can I introduce you to Jimmy? And you'll end up with introductions like that. And a warm referral coming from someone that already spends money with you is hands down the best business there is in the world. Now, if you're trying to sell hamburgers at $2 a burger, referral business isn't for you. Yeah. If you're trying to sell something where they're going to spend $250,000 with you a year, referral and being in a network of trusted, reliable people that are vouching for you, i.e. a community, a tribe of affluent people promoting you, can't get any better than that.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a member of this organization called Entrepreneurs Organization, worldwide network of entrepreneurs. And there was a hurricane, obviously, in Florida a couple of weeks ago, and a couple got dislocated. Right? They didn't, they had to move out of Florida, and they just put out a thing to the chapter and said, "Hey, our business is out of business in Florida. We're coming up. We need to move into somebody's office, and if somebody has like extra room in their house, like you don't even know these people, and it's like you're part of my tribe." What do you need? I'll pick you up at the airport. Never met the guys before, right? That's what you do when you are part of a tribe, and referral business is so key. I can't tell you the amount of business that I've done with organizations that I had no idea who they were. I didn't care, but Bob said that they're good guys and that I needed to work with them.
Exactly.
So often, some of these celebrities, these museums, etc., they don't necessarily need the money. And getting them to say yes is not a question of just how much am I going to pay them. Richard Branson's a good example of that. If he's working on a particular project, he doesn't care how much money you're going to pay him. We've tried to get him for a couple of events, and it's off the table. How do you get people to say yes when money really isn't their driver?
You can't buy people. If you walk into any conversation with a checkbook in front of you, just be prepared to walk back out again with a big fat no. If you walk into Elon Musk, Richard Branson, museums, Vaticans, any of these kind of things, you have to go in there and you first of all have to do your research to find out, quite simply, what's in it for them to participate in what you want. Now, you already know what you want, like for argument's sake, Richard. You already know you want him here to do this. So you already know what your want is. There's two things you got to do. One, you've got to know what's in it for him. So maybe there's a project he's working on. Maybe there's a charity he's just discovered that he's in love with. Maybe there's a product that's just come out that you can help through your network market. So you've got to go to the person and go, "Hey, my name's Steve Sims. I want to talk to you about something because I saw you involved in X, and I want to talk to you about how I can benefit that by asking you to participate in something we would like to do." So straight out of the bat, within the first 10 seconds, I'm going to tell you why you need to continue with this conversation. And as I've always said, getting your foot in the door, anyone can do that now. Being so amazing that they don't want you to leave the room, that's the skill. And if you can go, here's a beautiful little tip of the day, leapfrog. Get anyone that you know in your circle that's closer to the person you need to speak to and get them to make the introduction. I'll give you a perfect example. When I needed the academia shut, I knew some very wealthy families in Florence because they're my clients. The first thing I did when I decided I would love to do this, and again, I went for the moon. Did I expect to get the academia? 20 odd plus years later, I expect anything. I certainly don't expect to know, but I will always go for what I want before I go for what I have to settle for. And so I contacted these people in Florence and I went, okay, I've got this dream of doing this. Who do I need to speak to that has the power to say yes? And I spoke to 3 families that I have in Florence. The second family, they went, "We are one of the major patrons for the museum." And I went, okay, can you make the phone call and tell them that I'm going to be calling them this afternoon and to accept my call? And they went, "We'll do that." I said, great. I'm going to make sure you're happy with it, making that introduction. So I always get people to do that. I've had people introduce me to Elon Musk. I've had people introduce me to Peter Diamandis, to Ray Kurzweil, to Richard Branson. To all of these people, I always went through and got someone in a circle or a similar sandpit to make the introduction to the point that they were basically a referral of me to them. And I talked to them, and the last thing that's ever brought up is, okay, I know we're going to have to cover it sooner or later. I'm sure there's going to be an expense here. So just let me know what you think is fair, and we'll cover that.
Yeah.
And you leave it as brief and as non-confrontational as that.
I love it. And I want to peel that back a little bit. I want to deconstruct this a little bit because I love the language that you used. You didn't go in there and said, hey, I've got this really exclusive, wealthy billionaire that wants to pay me a lot of money if I can get him into this this museum. Can you get me in? No. You said, I've got a dream. And that immediately connects them to your dream, your vision. Do you know anyone that could help me make this happen? So you're not putting the pressure on them. I love the language that you use there. Brilliant.
I'm also making sure, and this has become an old trick, never ever ask a question that can be answered with no, unless no is the answer you want to receive.
And if you missed that, go back 30 seconds and listen to it again. Great. I love the value bombs being dropped here. Everybody's interested in success. However, only a few are really committed to it. What's the difference? Those that are committed are willing to do whatever it takes in order to get their outcome, in order to get their goals. If you're not getting the results you need and want, chances are it's accountability. Who's holding you accountable? I've got a challenge for you. For 1 month, 30 days, and $95, our team will hold you accountable for what you said you were going to get done in that month to get your goals, get your outcomes done. If at the end of 30 days you don't like the results or you just didn't like the system, we'll give you your money back. The question is, are you interested or are you committed?
Keep an eye out for part 3 of our interview with Steve, where he tells us the art of making things happen, as well as why you should welcome failure. See you next time on another episode of Peak Performers Podcast.